Hi, I'm Geeta. I'm a former journalist with more than 20 years experience in print, radio, TV, and web, and I have designed a course called Baby Got Booked aimed at busy entrepreneurs just like you to help you do your own PR in a way that makes you every journalist's dream come true. So today on Ask Geeta, where I take your questions, all media related, and give you straight, honest answers that get you results, I'm going to answer a question that came in from Donna. So she says to me, I'm often at events where there are reporters present, press conferences and that sort of thing. Is it okay to approach a reporter that isn't necessarily there for me? Can I approach them even though they're covering something else? And how do I follow up with them? What's too obnoxious? What's too persistent? So these are really great questions. So the first things first, I want to say this. A reporter is never going to get mad at you for approaching them. They are going to get mad at you if you're wasting their time, because that is one thing that they just don't have enough of. So what you want to do is evaluate whether that reporter is likely to be interested in your subject. If you run a nonprofit and you're there at another nonprofit type event, then yes, most likely they cover events related to nonprofits and they would be open as long as you have a good pitch, and we'll get into how to present yourself in just a second. However, I want to take you through the opposite event. Let's say this is a city hall, highly politicized press conference, and you have a consumer-oriented product. Probably not a good fit. The guy who covers city hall is most likely not doing stories on the latest boots or fashion accessories or things like that. So then it would be a waste of his time and he wouldn't want to be giving you coverage. So assuming it is in fact a good fit and you happen to be at the kind of conference where it's very congruent with your own message, what you want to be doing is having a business card handy and having what we call a one sheet. So this outlines your pitch. So basically the same pitch that you would be sending by email, have it printed out, have a nice image with it, make sure your contact information is on there, and give him very succinctly what your story idea is. This is not an excuse to just give him your bio and hope that he comes up with a story because you're just so cool. Not going to happen. You need to have the story angle figured out, or at least a few suggestions for story angles figured out, which shows him that you've done your homework, you know what his audience is interested in, and you are in fact a right fit for his audience. So make sure you have that handy. Now, the really important piece. Ask him or her for his contact information. Say, I don't want to be a bother. I know you're super busy. I don't want to be a pest, but I would like to make sure that I follow up just in case you get busy and you forget. What's the best way to reach you? Is that Twitter? Is that via email? Get his information, because as with any networking event, it's not so important who you give your business card to. It's much more important whose business cards you receive. So make sure that you have some information that will allow you to follow up. Now, how much is too much? It's a fine line, to be very honest. And every reporter has a different preference. Some people don't mind being contacted by phone. And if they like your energy, they might be open to giving you that phone number. Some people are very, very gated about their privacy and will only give you an email address and maybe not even, and they'll be like, look me up on Twitter, and sort of keep you at arm's length there. Whatever they give you, work with that. Give them a few days. Ask them, when would you like me to follow up? Would you like me to follow up in a couple of days? I don't want to be a pest or disturb you. They will tell you, take their lead, follow up. When you follow up, include that pitch that you sent them in the first place so they don't have to go rooting around their purse or their briefcase to look for it. Make sure the information is always handy. Give them a little bit additional information if you have something to share. And then feel free to follow up, give them another 3 or 4 days and then follow up the next week if you don't hear back. Persistence is not a problem with reporters, because think about what reporters are trained to be. We're trained to be persistent. We're trained to ask uncomfortable questions. We're trained to keep at it until we get a response, right? So we respect that. We have a respect for that with other people as long as we're convinced that they've done their homework and that they're a good fit. So that particular story may not be a good fit. That can happen. Or they may have just run a piece like that. They stopped doing pieces like that. We don't know. That can happen. But as long as you are a good fit because you're intelligent, you're sensitive, you're open to suggestion, you're coachable. That's what we call them, right? People who are open to flexing their message or giving, or we just like the way that they work. Their information is beautifully presented. It may not be the right information that we're looking for in the moment, but their information is well presented. They have good presence. They have all the markers that we're looking for as journalists. People will open the door, and that door will stay open, and you'll be able to turn rejection into relationship. So I hope this gives you some tips about approaching journalists when you're in person and you have that opportunity, and then following up in a way that builds a relationship. And you can build these relationships virtually as well, via Twitter, via Facebook. Most journalists may not like to be contacted on their personal Facebook pages because, we share photos of our kids and our families, and everybody's really private about that. But Twitter is a really great place. LinkedIn is a really great place to follow up. And of course, there's email. So Google the journalist's name, use whatever you find, follow up in a respectful way, and you should be able to turn that into a relationship. I will look for your name in the headlines. And until next time, I hope you're going to subscribe so I can keep in touch with you and share these amazing tips I'm always sharing with my tribe. Go to geeta.karni.com. The link is just down below. And make sure you sign up for my email because there are juicy tips sent right to your inbox so you never miss anything, and an opportunity to ask me your own question that will then be featured here on Ask Geeta. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye-bye.